Hey everyone! Today we're tackling one of Colorado's most scenic and stunning alpine hikes. We're hiking to Ice Lake, which you see here, this gorgeous blue alpine lake, and continuing on to Island Lake, which is the lake you see now. Both are surrounded by about 13,000 foot mountain peaks, and it is absolutely stunning. When we were driving along the forest road to the trailhead, South Fork Mineral Creek parallels the road, and we looked over and we saw this moose. So this was early in the morning in June, so keep your eye out and you may see a moose as well. We started the trail near the South Mineral Campground and the parking area there, and at the beginning of the trail, the San Juan Mountain Association had 2 volunteers who were providing extra information to the hikers, so we appreciate what they were doing. When you start the hike, you'll be going through an area that was burned in October 2020 with the ice fire. But you can see how things are starting to come back and the forest is regrowing itself. One cool thing about this hike is there's a lot of water. At least there was in June when we were there. There's a lot of waterfalls. Some you might have to get your feet wet in, but you'll be doing quite a few crossings over the water. You'll also pass an old mine as you make your way up the trail, and it's easy to miss because you may not see it because it's off the trail a bit. So if you want to see it, go where you see these logs right here, right off the trail to the left, and that'll take you right to that mine. As you climb higher, you'll start to notice things getting a whole lot greener, and the green just gets more intense. We saw a few marmots on our hike. They're not very uncommon, they're pretty common in Colorado, but there's quite a few on this hike that we saw, so keep an eye out in the bushes and you'll probably see some as well. This spot right here is where the 2 trails divide. So if you go to the left, that'll take you up to Ice Lake. And if you go to the right, it'll take you to Island Lake. We went to the left and then did a whole loop around and came back past Island Lake and came back that trail. So that's one option you can do. After a while, you're going to come to this relatively level area where there's water everywhere. It's coming out of the cliffs from the snowmelt, and it's just a stunning, ridiculously beautiful area. There's a couple of places to camp in here, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. You'll notice a path going off the trail to the left as you're heading up, and there's this really great campsite that you can see right there that is just spectacular. I'm sure it gets cold at night, but the scenery must be insane to wake up to. So that's a really beautiful area that you can pitch a tent at. And if you continue down a little further, you'll see the stream going down. And you can see there's someone with a tent pitched alongside the river, and that's another fabulous place where you could go camping. There's more than that. There's plenty of places to go camping up there to pitch a tent. So this particular area is just absolutely gorgeous. A great place to camp overnight. We did this hike on a sunny day in June, commonly called a Colorado Bluebird Day, meaning there's not a cloud in the sky. It's a bluebird, blue sky day. We were lucky to have that for the day we went hiking, but we left early anyway, so be sure to leave early because storms can roll in the afternoon, seemingly coming out of nowhere, and it can be really dangerous to be up there. So you want to be off the highest parts before the storms roll in the afternoons. You'll see some of these along the trail. These are a Colorado state flower. It's the columbine. So these wildflowers are growing up there along the trail. We're getting closer to Ice Lake here near the top, and there's definitely a lot more snow. So we made it to our first spot. This is Ice Lake. It's at 12,260 feet in elevation, and the blue color can be spectacular. Here you can see it's about halfway covered in snow still or ice still, but that didn't prevent it from looking gorgeous. You can see that blue color. There's sometimes people will get these amazing photos where the blue looks like it can't even be real. Here we've got a woman who decided to go swimming. She's braver than me. You can see her swimming there in the freezing cold ice water. She seemed to be invigorated. Good for her. A lot of people just go to Ice Lake and turn around and go back, but there's also a couple of other lakes you can see in the area. We decided to continue up further, up higher, to go see Island Lake. There was definitely a lot fewer people there. Most people seem to stop at Ice Lake and then turn around and go back where they came from. But we went up further and did a loop around, which I highly recommend because the scenery is just different and it's amazing on both sides. I'll warn you there was a spot right here where it's really rocky and slippery. It was not easy to hike across, so just giving you a little warning that you'll encounter that if you go this route. We're heading into the area where Island Lake is right now, and there was a lot more snow up here. But look at this view. I mean, it was just crazy to come upon this. It's very different from Ice Lake. This is Island Lake, but they're both spectacular in their own way. The day we hiked, we had a better blue color. You can see that here on Island Lake versus at the previous lake, Ice Lake. So it's just spectacular. There was fewer people up here, but I highly recommend taking that little extra hike up to go see this lake as well. We did the hike as a loop. So we went up to Ice Lake earlier, came up here to Island Lake, and then you can continue on this trail down and go down a different route to go back to the trailhead. It all ends at the same place, starts and ends at the same place. But this just gives you more of a loop and a little bit more variety in the hike. So if you're into a little bit longer hike, try this route. It's really quite beautiful. And here's another little marmot we came across. Look like a bear in the distance, but if you zoom in, he's just a little marmot. So eventually the trail down from Island Lake merges with the original trail from Ice Lake. And you just go back down the way you came and come out right out at the trailhead. So hope you enjoy your hike. I hope this was useful to you and you can kind of see what the scenery is like, because it is really, really spectacular. Feel free to drop any comments or questions you may have about the hike, and I'll do my best to answer them. But highly recommend it. Do this hike if you can. It is absolutely gorgeous.